He's the victim of a shooting and he's facing charges. The latest from Lexington police on their search for his shooter.
You know, he was their favorite teacher.
Why parents are confused about a Louisville teacher's arrest. And the governor signs off on a statewide tornado drill.
They want people to be ready.
Why leaders are telling families, get ready for severe weather.
This is WKYT News at 6.
The search for a shooter continues. You're watching WKYT on the CW Lexington. I'm Kristen Kennedy. Police are still trying to figure out what led up to an overnight shooting in Lexington. Police found 37-year-old Raymond Mcgee near Elm Tree Lane and East 6th Street around 2:30 this morning. They say he had 3 gunshot wounds and he wasn't telling them much about what happened. Police don't have much of a description of that shooter except that he was wearing all black and ran south on Elm Tree Lane. Lexington police say that they found narcotics on Mcgee while he was being treated, and he is now charged with possession of a controlled substance. We have a developing story tonight out of Michigan. Police believe the man accused of killing 6 people in Kalamazoo County last night was an Uber driver. They say 45-year-old Jason Dalton shot a woman at an apartment complex, shot and killed a father and son at a car dealership, and then shot 5 people in the parking lot of a Cracker Barrel. 4 women at the Cracker Barrel died. A 14-year-old girl is in critical condition. Tonight we've learned Dalton may have been picking up passengers in between the shootings. Dalton is expected to be in court tomorrow. Investigators have arrested 2 men they say robbed a woman outside a church in Lexington this morning. Lexington police tell us the 2 men pulled up to the woman who was getting out of her car at a church on Winchester Road and asked her if she needed any help. When the woman said no, police say one of the men pulled out a knife and stole her purse. Deputies in Scott County later saw a car that matched the one involved in the robbery and tried to pull the driver over, but they say he refused to stop. They say Grant County Sheriff's deputies eventually got him to pull over, and they arrested 2 men. In Jessamine County, a mother is in jail accused of leaving her 3-year-old at home alone for several hours. Nicholasville police say Nina Pike told them she had to be at work, so she left her daughter at home. Neighbors found the little girl walking outside in the parking lot, and when they tried to take her home, they found out she was alone. Pike faces criminal abuse charges. A Louisville teacher will face a judge tomorrow. He's charged with touching a student inappropriately. Police arrested Samuel Barrett early Saturday morning. He is accused of touching a female student. Police say she was in his freshman class at Fern Creek High School. His arrest citation does not indicate when the sexual abuse happened.
I spoke with my son about it. He had him last semester, supposed to have him next semester, and he said that everybody he's talked to, all of his friends he's talked to, you know, he was their favorite teacher. So that's what has gotten me confused.
A Jefferson County Public Schools spokesperson says Barrett will be reassigned to non-instructional duties outside the school pending the outcome of the investigation. New tonight, the former fiance of State Senate Majority Leader Damon Thayer is claiming he used his position of power against her. The Georgetown News Graphic reports Tanya Branham has filed a lawsuit claiming Thayer threatened to get the administrative office of the courts to stop her from serving as a families and transition counselor. She also claims he kept police from filing a report back in December. When they came out to the home the couple shared for what Branham called an argument. Thayer has filed a lawsuit against Branham. His suit takes issue with ownership of the home they share. The Casey County coroner says a woman is dead and her baby is in the hospital after a crash. The coroner says 21-year-old Amber Sanders pulled into the path of another car at the intersection of West Kentucky 70 and Highway 127. Sanders' car was hit in the driver's side. She was pronounced dead at a nearby hospital. Her baby is at UK Children's Hospital. State police are investigating. Today's rain across the Bluegrass brought with it some much cooler temperatures, and those temperatures look like they'll continue to drop in the work week. Meteorologist Jim Caldwell is tracking rain and snow potential on the First Alert Defender.
It is an action-packed forecast that we have trying to evolve here over the next several days. Right now, outside, tracking some rain, basically right along Interstate 64. You go out into parts of western sections of Kentucky, it starts to die out. So from Lexington eastward, we have some showers and a little more activity to our south. Let's Check out some of it up close and personal here. Very light rain falling here in Lexington, but it's causing for a nasty little mess, though. Some heavier stuff now getting ready to pass through Richmond, and the same thing for you folks there in Winchester. A little heavier shower. We go down along the Hal Rogers Parkway, couple of showers, maybe even a flash of lightning, clap of thunder, a possibility with this as well. You can see it's kind of lined up there, and also along I-75 there, right around London. Likely passes that, at least that heavier batch, just to the south of the city of London. So that's what they have. We look to the north, and you can see a clearing line trying its best to get in here already through Kenton, Boone, and Campbell counties, also through Owen County as well. So we're going to watch that sunshine creep through there for at least a little while. You can even see it here on our sky cams. Look at Covington there. You're looking at nice conditions there, at least seeing some sunshine. 54 degrees, so the cooler air is already settling in. Same thing you're going to find along the Mountain Parkway here in Lexington. Lexington looks like a mess, though. You can see that here right by the station, and also into Frankfort. A little glow from the sunshine coming in there as the skies have started to at least thin a little bit as far as cloud coverage is concerned. So a messy evening for us, and then the cooler air is coming. We will track that cooler air, and what a wild week it's going to be coming up.
We've seen some strange weather this winter, from a record-setting high yesterday to the potential for snow this week. State leaders want people to be prepared for severe weather. WKYT's Mike Linden shows us how they are making sure Kentuckians are ready.
This week is Severe Weather Awareness Week in Kentucky. To kick it off, Governor Matt Bevin has signed off on a statewide tornado drill this upcoming Tuesday, February 23rd. According to a statement from the governor, severe storms impact lives, social structure, and the economy on both local and state levels. In cooperation with statewide divisions of emergency management, the drill will begin at approximately 10:07 Tuesday morning. The alert will be sent out over all outdoor sirens, weather alert radios, on television, and over radio signals. Lexington Emergency Management Public Information Officer John Bobel says this drill is not to be taken lightly.
They want people to be ready so that when tornado season actually happens, they can take those protective actions and know what to do.
And just as another reminder, the drill is set for this Tuesday at 10:07 a.m. In Lexington, Mike Linden, WKYT.
Last year, Kentucky had 4 weather-related federally declared disasters. A dwindling pool of GOP presidential candidates heads out west this week for the Nevada Republican caucus. Donald Trump looks for his 3rd victory Tuesday, and Senators Marco Rubio and Ted Cruz battle for 2nd place. Danielle Nottingham is on the campaign trail.
Donald Trump is on a roll after picking up 50 delegates in his South Carolina victory. But Trump is not underestimating his Republican rivals.
I'm dealing with very, very talented people, smart people, good people, and, I think, they'll be competing. We still have competition.
It's shaping up to be a 3-man race between Trump and Senators Marco Rubio and Ted Cruz heading into Tuesday's caucuses in Nevada.
Wow, holy smoke.
Rubio picked up the endorsement of Nevada Senator Dean Heller. It could be key in his effort to become the choice of establishment Republicans.
The Democrats do not want to run against me, but I cannot wait to run against them.
Ted Cruz is hitting the ground hard here in Nevada after a disappointing 3rd-place finish in South Carolina, where he lost the evangelical vote to Donald Trump. Cruz says he's the only Republican so far that's proven he can beat Trump.
Do well in the first 3 states and then compete and have a very strong night in Super Tuesday. I think we're ideally positioned to do exactly that.
Do you think Ted Cruz can win Nevada?
Yes. I'm hoping so. I really am. And I'm going to be 1 vote for him.
Senator Bernie Sanders was also looking to rebound from a tough loss in Nevada to Hillary Clinton. He attended church services in South Carolina Sunday, trying to court black voters. The Democrats have their next contest this Saturday in the Palmetto State.
Right now, Trump has 67 delegates. Ted Cruz has 11, and Marco Rubio has 10. A state senator from southern Kentucky is tweaking a bill that would change the start date for the first day of school. Senator Chris Girdler's original bill required schools to schedule the first day no earlier than the Monday closest to August 26th. The Commonwealth Journal reports the senator asked the Senate Education Committee not to vote on the bill just yet. He thinks he can make changes that will appeal to some critics. He will meet with others tomorrow to go over options. He hopes to have the bill ready to go Thursday. Still to come on WKYT on the CW Lexington, the Hazard Police Department is hiring. We'll introduce you to their newest recruits.
As Lexington roads get busier, drivers are finding alternate ways to their destination. Many are taking neighborhood roads way too fast, leaving residents in fear. WKYT investigates neighborhood cut-throughs, Monday at 6 on WKYT. It's time to wake up. You've got things to do, mouths to feed, work to get done. It's another Kentucky morning. And Kentucky mornings start here.
Good morning, I'm Bill Bryant.
And I'm Rebecca Smith.
You don't have time to waste, so we don't waste your time. Simple as that. Breaking and overnight news, weather to plan your day, plus traffic you can take with you. Make WKYT This Morning part of your Kentucky morning. Weekdays from 4:30 to 7 on WKYT.
Buying a new energy-efficient refrigerator or freezer? Well, get paid to upgrade. Let our Energy Star Appliance Rebate Program help you earn cash back on a range of Energy Star certified appliances. Just visit our website to see how to get paid to upgrade. Intercounty Energy and Bluegrass Energy, your Touchstone Energy cooperatives.
If you've been in an accident with a semi-truck, let me give you some advice. The trucking company has investigators on the case right now. So should you. Time is of the essence. Evidence disappears. We have a crash team that can be on scene within hours. There are lawyers in our firm that only handle semi-truck cases. They eat it, breathe it, sleep it. All cases are not the same. Don't wait. Let's get started today. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
The President's Day sales event ends soon at your local Ford stores. Last chance to save big on Ford, America's best-selling brand 6 years straight. Choose from a great lineup of stylish cars, capable SUVs, and legendary trucks. Get 0% financing for 60 months, plus 2,000 trade assist on Fusion, Focus, or Escape. Or get 0 for 60 plus $2,000 bonus cash on F-150. But hurry, all offers end February 29th. So visit your local Ford store.
Stay connected to the news that matters to you. Follow WKYT on Twitter. Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with meteorologist Jim Caldwell.
It is ugly out there right now in Lexington as we've got a shower and a lot of mist still hanging out with us, and it's going to continue to do so for at least the next 20, 30 minutes or so. There you see what it looks like outside the station with that rain. Temperature down 52 degrees right now with winds coming in here around 12 miles per hour. We look at some of the showers on our Defender radar network, and you're going to find we've got one batch that's streaking through central and parts of northeastern Kentucky at the moment, and that's the last little batch. Once it clears out of our area, it's gone. Skies are going to clear behind that as well. There you can see some of the rain still falling here on this side of town, some of that light stuff, and a little bit heavier though as we get down into Estill County and also right into Richmond as well. We go down along Hal Rogers Parkway where we're tracking a decent little shower passing right to the south of London and just to the north of Corbin as well. 50s and even some 60s still holding on out there. Monticello coming in with 60 degrees, 57 in Jackson, 50 Moorhead, so we've got all kinds of different setups. We're 14 degrees cooler compared to this same time yesterday in Lexington. Yesterday it was fantastic out there. Daytime high got into the low 70s, tied a record, set a new record in Frankfort. I mean, just a fantastic day. We're changing all that up. Watch the rain continue to linger in eastern Kentucky, maybe through the rest of the evening, and then wraps up completely. We go into your Monday, and all eyes will be on a system that's going to be developing to our south. It's going to first bring a big push of wind. We're already feeling the wind from this system by 3 o'clock on Tuesday, and then the rain gets in here as we go into Wednesday morning. Winds are really whipping at this point as well. Heavy rain potentially as well. The backside, the cold air catches up. We start tracking snow. But just look at the wind and look at this grid once it gets closer to us. When you see these isobars, the closer they are together, the more compact, that means the stronger the winds are going to be. And at this point, by the time we get into Wednesday morning, 6 o'clock on Wednesday morning, we're trying to push 40, 50 mile per hour wind gusts through central portions of Kentucky, with 30 showing up across eastern Kentucky, and they continue to whip all the way through your Wednesday as well. And then once that area of low pressure passes us by, it starts tapping into some strong winds, of course. So we're talking wind-driven rain and then blowing snow on the backside of this, because the air behind this is going to be coming in out of the north. By the time we get into the afternoon and evening hours on Thursday, we're back into the 30s for afternoon readings. Look at all that wind. I mean, the wind chill readings, with them being as strong as they're going to be that day, we're probably going to be looking at teens when you're only talking about 30s at that point. So that's how strong the winds will be. And then the snow becomes an issue as well. Just a very wild week of weather, especially when you consider where we are right now and where we've been this weekend.
So it is appropriate that it is Severe Weather Awareness Week.
You know, it panned out perfectly. You're right, it sure did.
Thank you, Jim.
Okay.
The Hazard Police Department is welcoming their newest officer to the force. Officer John Holbrook graduated from the academy in Richmond Friday. Today, he joined the Hazard Police Department. Holbrook says his goal is to help get drugs off the streets. 3 officers from Friday's graduating class will join the Hazard Police Department. Lee K's in next with sports, and UK is set to make a big hire.
It appears that Mark Stoops is ready to hire his defensive backs coach, Kristen, and from the university just up the road, and many fans are still shaking their heads following a bizarre ending to yesterday's Kentucky game. Hear what Coach Cal had to say about it next in sports.
Here in Vineland, home of Progresso, we figured out how to get rich ingredients like bacon into 22 light soups. So if you want 100 calories or less per serving without giving up rich flavor, do what we do. Make it Progresso.
Look at this sweet face. So sweet. Okay, we're gonna need a napkin. Gooey, flaky, happy toaster strudel.
At Golden Law Office, not only do we have extensive trial experience with large jury verdicts in Kentucky, we have resources and insight to handle cases that involve catastrophic injuries and death. At Golden Law Office, our results and resources allow us access to world-renowned experts. Remember, we handled cases for insurance companies for over 25 years. They often value your case based on the attorney you hire and the experts you retain. Put our experience, resources, and knowledge to work for you. Call us today for a free case evaluation.
You know why I love The Feud?
Steve Harvey, 2016 for president!
Yes, Lord! Yeah! Because I love watching this. Name something Grandma might store under her boobs.
Her teeth!
Come on, Grandma, time for dinner.
Family Feud, 1 full hour starting at 7 on the CW Lexington.
For the 3rd time this offseason, Mark Stoops is set to hire an assistant coach from the University of Cincinnati. The latest is Steve Clinkscale, who will be hired to coach the defensive backs at UK, according to multiple reports. Clinkscale would replace Derek Ansley, who left the Kentucky football program for a position at Alabama. Clinkscale has served as the defensive backs coach and co-defensive coordinator at UC. His prior coaching experience includes stops at Illinois, Toledo, Western Carolina, and Ashland University. Like Stoops, he's a Youngstown, Ohio native. An official announcement is expected to be made this week. Well, John Calipari took to Twitter this afternoon to praise his team following a tough overtime loss at Texas A&M on Saturday. He said that he felt good about the game because his kids fought. It was a hard-fought game between the Wildcats and the Aggies with a bizarre ending. With Kentucky leading by 1 in overtime, freshman Isaac Humphreys was whistled for a technical foul after slamming the ball to the court. Despite Humphreys playing his best game as a Wildcat, that moment there created a swing back in the favor of A&M.
This was just to grind it out, just try to win the game, do whatever you have to. We're putting in plays on the fly. It was like football, drawing in the sand, trying to figure out stuff, and just tried to get out of the gym. You know, and we're sitting there saying, oh my gosh, we may get out of here. Then what? It was a heck of a basketball game. I just hated how it was decided, what decided the game. That was disappointing, but.
Well, next man up has been the motto of this Kentucky team all season. Several unusual injuries have caused players to miss playing time. The latest is Derek Willis. During the second half of Saturday's game, Willis landed awkwardly on his right ankle, all alone there at the top of the key. He would be helped off the court. Calipari didn't have a diagnosis after the game, except to say he heard it was a pretty bad sprain. Over the last 11 games, Willis is averaging 16 points and 6 rebounds for the Cats. And then this picture emerged on social media this afternoon of Willis's ankle with the caption, "Should have just broke." I mean, look at that. Unbelievable. Willis in Poitras' status is still unknown for Tuesday night's game against Alabama. Kentucky's women's basketball team with a lot to play for in the final week of the regular season. 6 teams, including the Cats, separated by just 1 loss in the standings, and an all-important bye in the upcoming conference tournament still within reach. Before today's game against Arkansas, Michaela Epps honored for joining the 1,000-point club. She's just a junior, folks. Kentucky had the 3-point lead in the first. The freshman Taylor Murray gets the steal. She's taking it all the way. Check out the reverse. That's a freshman there. Midway through the second quarter, Murray finds another freshman, Macy Morris, coming off the screen. Morris fires from deep to give Kentucky its largest lead of the game at 20 in the third quarter. Alexis Jennings goes to work on the block. Jennings had 14 points. Arkansas would pull within 7. Epps looking to extend it. The layup and the foul for Anthony's daughter. 10-point game in the fourth quarter. Evelyn Aucoutore beats the double team in the paint. The bank is open on this Sunday. Aucoutore had 14 points and 11 rebounds. Cats pulling away late. Epps kicks it out to Morris. She'll hit the jumper. Morris finished with 10. Epps had a team-high 16 to go with 7 boards and 4 assists. Kentucky beats Arkansas by 14, a 4th straight in conference play. NASCAR started its engines on a new season this afternoon, the 58th running of the Great American Race. Rookie Chase Elliott, the youngest pole sitter in the history of the Daytona 500. Lap 19, Elliott gets loose coming off turn 4, goes sliding across the pavement. Elliott avoids the inside wall, but his day would be done. With 31 laps to go, Dale Earnhardt Jr., a 2-time Daytona 500 winner, loses control coming off turn 4, and he slams nose first into the inside wall, ending his run. Final lap, here's the drama heading into turns 3 and 4. Matt Kenseth leading, but Denny Hamlin has a run on the high side. Hamlin and Martin Truex Jr. battling to the finish line, and Hamlin just nipping Truex at the line. Take another look at the photo finish. Hamlin wins by 1/100th of a second and an estimated 4 inches, the closest finish in Daytona 500 history. Unbelievable. And you want to hear about unbelievable, Kristen? Anthony Davis today for the Pelicans scored 59 points and had 20 rebounds in a win for the Pelicans. That's a career high. Unbelievable.
That is great. Congratulations to him. We'll be right back with a final look at weather.
Join Sam Dick and WKYT TV viewers on a tour to classic Italy, Rome, Florence, and Venice, October 8th through the 16th. To learn more, our free travel shows meet Tuesday, February 23rd at the Lexington Holiday Inn Express and Suites at 10 a.m., 2 p.m., and 7 p.m. We'll also meet Wednesday, February 24th at the Frankfurt Best Western Parkside Inn at 10 a.m., 2 p.m., and 7 p.m. For more information, call Holiday Vacations at 1-800-826-2266.
When I'm lucky enough to meet you out in public, the question I'm most often asked is, what is Emma up to? So let me tell you, As usual, she stays busy investigating accident scenes, sniffing out evidence, and solving cases. But recently, she became a big sister. Meet Molly. Emma loves Molly. She doesn't know if she's her kid's sister or daughter. Unfortunately, she sometimes thinks she's the baby. When you write Emma, she'll write you back. Morgan & Morgan, for our dogs.
The favorite thing that I like about shopping at Critchfield Meats is the quality and the selection of their meats. Anything that I'm looking for, they will have, and they've just been outstanding in every facet of the way they do business.
Your husband is expressing symptoms of radiation poisoning.
Is he gonna be okay? There's nothing else we can do.
A new Madam Secretary, then.
Very manly.
The Good Wife will go down in history as one of TV's best shows. Exactly what we wanted ever.
Let's crack open the green notebook. That's serious notes.
Just listen. My breathing. The Good Wife final season continues after a new Madam Secretary CBS tonight.
As Lexington roads get busier, drivers are finding alternate ways to their destination. Many are taking neighborhood roads way too fast, leaving residents in fear.
People live here, children play here, and it's very dangerous.
We've been here for 30 minutes. Not a single one was going the speed limit.
WKYT investigates what's being done to keep residential roads safe as Lexington continues to grow. Neighborhood Cut-Throughs, Monday at 6 on WKYT.
Tough.
Keep your word, don't lie.
Tenacious.
Who do you think you are?
Bold.
You want to try and tell us the truth now?
Decisive.
You can't do that.
Hot bench.
Now you're pleading ignorance. Is right. You.
Why are you looking at me like that? In this courtroom, there's 3 sides to every verdict.
It's true.
Hot bench.
Weekdays at 4 on the CW Lexington. Get weather plus traffic with a WKYT weather app. Have the Defender radar network in the palm of your hand while checking your driving conditions for your commute on the same screen. Weather plus traffic on the WKYT weather app.
Tuesday night's Mega Millions jackpot is $114 million, and Wednesday night's Powerball jackpot is $236 million. Looking at some severe weather for Severe Weather Awareness Week.
And just a wild ride, period, because yesterday, record highs, low 70s out there. Then you get into this big time system that's going to be impacting the area Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And it goes from strong, maybe severe thunderstorms Wednesday, to snow on the backside and winds gusting 50 miles per hour or more.
A lot going on. Thanks for joining us right here. Have a good night.